Good
Good evening.
afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Rico Nico headquarters. Rico, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's 6:37. Yes, it's evening.
No, I forgot that. But it shouldn't be.
And you got a whole iPhone there. Sweet mercy.
Everybody, y'all want to see my iPhone? Yeah. So, this is a surprise topic for Shadow, right? What do you think? I know you don't like the little conspiracy talks. You keep them short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But you know this NASA guy came out admitting that the government has non-human bodies in their possession.
I seen that.
What's your take? What do you think? What's just what comes to your mind?
All right, what
What
comes to my
just
mind?
just talk about it.
What comes to my mind? It's a weird thing about how governments are very careful with what the public knows, and you get spoon fed certain things because they know they can't keep a perfect lock on all information. My thing is this: we live in an age now where it's not surprising because of the internet and information can travel so fast. Misinformation can travel pretty fast too, but not some of its magnitude. And the technology that we have, I give man credit. There are very some serious and amazing things that a man can do. But as far as our travel, breaking a sound barrier and things of that nature, man, we've had to have help. Whether you want to call it divine, benevolent or malevolent, angels, whatever, aliens, we've had assistance and interference from other realms. We cannot be the center of the universe. There has to be more going on.
So not only do you think they exist, you're saying they've also been messing with us.
Yeah.
For quite some time.
Yeah, man. When you look at the history of mankind, the menagerie of animals and creatures that we have here, when you look at just the way that evolution has allowed things to still continue, some things have died out, some things have died. This is a well-kept terrarium, very well-kept terrarium. Breakthroughs in science and medicine that allow us to come to certain places. Man has not been allowed to completely eradicate just entire species of anything. There's that. We also haven't been able to personally travel beyond a certain scope. And I just saw something recently about how videos in the International Space Station might be fake. So there's that.
What, the ISS being fake?
Yeah, harnesses.
Really?
Yeah, air bubbles, helmets being filled with water like it's underwater. That's a whole nother thing. But man, dude, aliens being real. Aliens being real, is just par for the course. They talk about reptilians, grays, blues, and grays and whites, different aliens and whatnot, and abductions, and we having a hand in it. Man, we've known about extraterrestrials for so long, man. It's bound to happen. So for them to tell us that it goes on now, that's just what it is, man. So.
This is probably like 50-year-old info.
Right. Roswell, Area 51. They made movies around, and I think what they do is they make movies and TV shows and all this representation to soften the first contact happened so long ago that what happens is they're gonna start having the realization that, hey, this is Bob. They made movies about this with Seth Rogen. This is Bob. He's an extraterrestrial. He's been living here amongst us for X amount of years. But then you know what happens when we do get to that point where we can start really talking about extraterrestrials. We'll have to really start looking at the origins of humanity. We have to start really looking at what is an illegal alien and what is an alien, which will affect our own relationships with who's allowed to be here, say a country or a planet. We'll have to start really looking at, the origin of God, the origin of religion, and kind of saying like, oh, okay, well, we're not alone. Is what we've been led to thought about the world is irrelevant. because we're not the center of the universe. There could be an entire galactic, aspect that's like, okay, well, you guys, we've been looking at you guys, and you guys aren't there yet. You guys got a long way to go. So think about like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like really think about it if it's like an aspect like that. Like, Earth, you guys got 400, 500 years to go. If not, it'd be a problem. So, but yeah,
It's just a very funny thing. I don't get it.
yeah, or it's one of those things to where it's like, what if other worlds are just as, or it's a little bit more, they're a little bit more technologically advanced than we are, but they have wars, and they have their same issues. They have their forms of racism and bigotry and all that. And then, but humanity is just a little bit more immature, a little younger. Before we couldn't even compete on that level. What if there's populations out there that are trillions of life forms? We're just a couple billion. So there's that.
I mean, I think aliens have been on Earth all along, since before humans were.
Yeah, we could be aliens.
I think descendants.
Huh?
I think descendants.
We could be descendants of aliens that first came here.
Yeah.
Very likely.
But that's not a bad theory either. We're just the descendants of the first aliens who came here. So now we're from Earth, but maybe those aliens were just like us.
Yeah, that goes down to the thinking of what's the meaning of indigenous.
What does that even mean? What does native mean?
What does native mean? We're native now because we've been here and we've had, our numbers have been
birthed but then we're not technically from here if we came from another planet.
That's true. And I can only imagine what another world looks like with a humanoid, or like what we look like now is what we've evolved to here, and in other places humanoids are giants, 12-toed giants like Goliath in the Bible. Could be anything. So
but do you think that maybe there's a chance that our ancestors, they were just like us, they came from another planet and they completely ruined it, they messed it up, so they were people above everybody, I guess, if you can say it, and then they wanted to find safe haven somewhere else, came here, but then you're also going to ruin this planet because you didn't learn your lesson. Do you think that's possible too?
Well, under the circumstances that humans came here, our history denotes that if we had very advanced technology to travel, we didn't yet, or we were sent here without the knowledge and the tools to furnish the capabilities of destroying the planet. We developed the ability to destroy our planet over the course of centuries. So if we did come here from somewhere else, we didn't come here with the tools and the machinations to destroy this planet. We came here with just enough to maybe get here and maybe start fresh. It might be innate to human beings to develop and innovate recklessly to the point where we do start bringing harm to the area around us, even though we might have really, really good intent. That might be to our nature, but it's hard to say, man. I wouldn't know under what circumstances we were sent here.
Well, look, this is what I think, and you give me your thoughts. What's the most intelligent animal you can compare to human intelligence? Wasn't it like the dolphin or the chimpanzee? Well,
I would say chimps.
Like chimps, all right.
Yeah.
So the smartest chimpanzee has the intellect of a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I can't really quote it, but all right, let's
4 or 5. I think I saw somewhere.
Let's say for a second.
So the smartest animal, the elite of animals, is equivalent to a 5-year-old human, right?
Okay.
Which is pretty much everyone gets there, anyways.
Okay.
So I think that between us and animals, it's not like there's not like a healthy kind of growth. Like, okay, so this animal's here in intellect, and then there's healthy steps, and then you get to us. Like, there's way too much of a gap between us and the most advanced animal. Don't you think that's weird? How do we have a common ancestor with them? Because I know technically we don't come from them. We have an ancestor in common. But the difference between your intellect and the one of the smartest animal is so far beyond. It's not even funny.
True.
So that's really weird. Like I don't believe we have a common.
So I maybe, but it's hard to tell what happened along the lines between Neanderthal.
They came over here, or we came over here,
or let's say between Neanderthal and our different types of ancestors, right? I would say maybe what we have here in regards to, say, original man. Now let's say not traveled man, not someone who came from an extraterrestrial source, but let's say native indigenous man, the basis of indigenous man.
Born where? Was here or outside?
Here, born here, right? What happens if extraterrestrials tweaked the indigenous creature who would be man, Homo erectus, Neanderthal man? What if we are the result of interference from other extraterrestrials tinkering with the most advanced creature on this planet? And that's
which was the most compatible with them.
Quite potentially, yeah. Which is that? There's no telling that if they tinkered with fish, they would have got mermaids. There's no telling that if they would have tinkered with any other type of creature, you'd have something that is humanoid, because technically, let's say other alien creatures might be humanoid as well. They have a humanoid body, but you tweak with the lobes, you tweak with the cerebral cortex, and it's in our learning capacity. What humans might not actually be natural. We might be completely unnatural. We're the result of a genetic tinkering experiment. And say Neanderthal man left alone might be what we see. Gorillas are still gorillas.
What?
Chimps are still chimps.
What if? So that raises more questions. So the question would be, so these, whatever they are, number one, why did they leave it? Where they're from? And number two, why come here?
Well, exploration is exploration, looking for more resources, and especially if you have the means to do so and the curiosity to do so, you do so. And why did they come here? Because we were a planet that probably could sustain life. And what is life? There's life, we're a carbon-based life form, but think about a silicone-based life form. Think about the expanse of what is sentient. And think about if energy is sentient, has no physical corporeal form, but it has a consciousness. Life can be a very broad spectrum. Think about
absolutely.
Think about creatures that can live.
A tree is technically alive, but you don't see it as alive.
Right,
but it is alive. So it's
think about things that are alive but cannot technically die. Like, imagine a creature that's, once it becomes conscious, aware of itself, that's forever that's all it shall be, is conscious. It will act upon itself. No matter if it lives on an inhabitable planet, no matter what extreme temperatures, it could live in the middle of a quasar with erratic energy and magnetic fields. It can still live there. Think about it like that. Like the concept of what life is just basically maybe conscious awareness. Something living could be completely unknowing of its own existence. It might only have a function. It might only serve as a function to travel, to replicate.
So you were saying that they might have messed with our DNA.
Right? Yeah, they might have messed with the DNA of creatures that were
in the way of messing with it, or saying like in the Bible that angels fell in love with humans. In this case,
that's just a way to try.
But that's technically kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
you're just not going and tweaking their DNA. You're creating something.
Yeah, you just from
the native, and you're
saying a heavenly body interacted with a creature here and spawned a different type of creature. Whether that interaction was copulating, like we know creatures to do, or that interaction that was gifting or changing, because science is seen as a gift and enlightenment. But that enlightenment could be abductions and genetic testing and the mixing of this and the mixing of that, and that's what you get. And I don't knock evolution, but can you imagine if all evolution is steered to where it's like, oh, okay, well, we have these creatures and we're gonna tweak these creatures right here, and the species, they're gonna be ants. They're gonna be this many species, so that all the variants and variables can be realized, and boom, that's it. Like, I don't know. I think they limited the types of human beings that could be, because can you imagine having if humans had species amongst us like other creatures did? Can you imagine? It'll look like World of Warcraft. Can you imagine, 12, 13 different specific species of humanoid? You got ones that are ready to fish, some are they're amphibians, some are insects, like insect, others are more,
but all being human,
but all humanoid or very human-like, mammalian, but with other things mixed in. Can you imagine if Saiyans were real, like Dragon Ball Z level Saiyans? Can you imagine if creatures like Aquaman and Superman, Kryptonians, which are humanoid representative of other worlds? Can you imagine if Kryptonians and Atlantans were real and Amazonians were real? Man, that's not gonna be crazy, but it's not improbable. It could be very possible. Could be very possible. But that's why I believe is everything that we can think of is possible. So when I think about like our imagination is linked to,
and also don't forget that a lot of people like, say for example, like what we know now, if we went back in time, even say 50 years, you'd be seen as like some kind of witch, some kind of like wizard, like, oh, like you're doing some weird magic stuff, like you're the devil, blah blah blah. But no, they're like, you're just more knowledgeable.
Yeah, if we were to go back, if we were to go back 50 years right now,
just 50.
If we were to go 50 years back right now, and be able to say what we know now, there are people back then who are fully aware of what we're talking about now, and because they know about it. They know that back then, the things we're talking about, they probably know more advanced things that are already in the pipe than we could talk of. Yeah, like we could talk about maybe iPhones are very unique, result of technology, but man, when Lockheed Martin made the SR-71 Blackbird, the technology behind that was like 60s, 70s. You talk about some of the stuff we talk about now, back then, there are closed groups that be like, yeah, how do you know that? I was like, I was like, oh, it's way deeper than that. I was like, way deeper than that. So you mean to tell me in the 30s and the 40s, they knew leaps and bounds beyond what we're just finding out now? Technology we're finding out now?
And also don't forget there's a difference in the information we know as regular consumers than
the people who
control things.
Yeah,
so
man, it's
so that in itself is about 40 years.
Yeah,
40,
if not
years.
more. If not more, because
like the whole AI quantum computer.
Yeah, you have to think about if extraterrestrials, if they've been in regular communication with us. Imagine how advanced they are, and how they've been trailing us along, and what we're really looking at. That's why, like when they talk about population control, I think population control might be a factor of an extraterrestrial aspect. You never want the garden to be overrun. I don't think we have a limit on resources. I just think you don't want too many humans if really a lot of the population is a certain percentage not human. It's almost like a Men in Black. Can you imagine? And it'd be weird. America, like the world, would have to start really thinking the difference between culture, race, gender. You really start looking at things very differently. You have to really start thinking about, and religion, like I said, religion be hard. And can you imagine like diseases like, oh yeah, the reason why some diseases are really hard to really fight is because they're really not of human origin. Can you imagine if you found out a chick you was dating was really part reptilian? You know,
No,
forget it.
we
Forget
really
if she
don't.
used to be a man. Forget if she used to be a man. She's a whole lizard, bro. Or part or what we would consider insect, because who knows what they would consider
Yeah, well.
that. Like, man, that would be wild, bro. So
Let us know in the comments down below what you think. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share it with all your friends. They're not watching the Rico Nico podcast. They are missing out. Thank you for watching all the way till the end.
hey,
Any closing remarks?
hey, just watch those grays and those whites and those reptilians.
Let us know in the comments down below how many aliens you dated.
Good night.
And not aliens as in
Illegal aliens.
yeah, citizenship or residence.
We're talking about like
no, like actual.
extraterrestrials.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Can't
Just
wait
let
for
us know
that.
in the comments down below.
Can't wait.